Hey guys, it's JinJinx, one of the Monster Hunter math guys. Yes, I am back from Jenny's family reunion, which means we are making videos again. Sorry for the delay on getting things out to you guys. After eating pounds upon pounds of delicious southern food, I was in kind of a coma. And it was a pretty fun time over there. They hosted it over on a farm, so I got to feed a horse, and I got to walk a goat. Neato. Anyway, about 2 hours from the time I am recording this, there was a patch that just dropped for Monster Hunter World on PC. This of course contained the data for the Witcher crossover, which is now live on PC. If you haven't had a chance to do that yet, it's a very fun experience, and you can get a free attack deco from a side quest. We actually already have a video covering that, so be sure to check it out, link in the top right. But something even more exciting, at least to me, came out with that patch as well. As we've mentioned in the past, we work with a lot of different data miners and modders to get information and data on this game. And one such modder that we have mentioned several times in the past has found us a gem. *Ampersand has found us the quest data for the Arch Tempered Nergigante quest, the Heralds of Destruction Cry. So fair warning, this is a datamine leak, so that means if you don't want any kind of potential spoilers for Arch Tempered Nergigante, stop watching. Alright, we good? Good. So this quest is of course for Arch Tempered Nergigante, and there are other Arch Tempered monsters that end up showing up during the hunts. Similar to Arch Tempered Lunastra, there are going to be 2 other Arch Tempered that will be making guest appearances. Arch Tempered Kushala Deora and Arch Tempered Teostra. Their stats seem to be pretty much equivalent to what they have in their Arch Tempered quests, and they are most likely going to just be temporary appearances similar to all of the previous Arch Tempered quests. But let's talk about the more interesting part, Arch Tempered Nergigante stats. So his HP roll is 26,223. That is a lot. That is significantly higher than any other Arch Tempered monster or any other monster short of Behemoth or Kulve. For context, outside of the 2 I just mentioned, the highest HP monster in the game is Arch Tempered Teostra at 19,350 HP. And yes, this is for single player. This is in stark contrast to how normal Nergigante works. Out of all the Elder Dragons, next to Kirin, he is the second lowest HP Elder Dragon. Which makes sense, he's the first one you fight in the story. Now, the Eater of Elders, just like every single optional quest and investigation in the game, does have HP rolls. This means there is a certain variance to how much HP the monster has when you start the quest up. In the Eater of Elders, Nergigante can have anywhere from 6,899 to 7,321. However, the middle is going to be 7,110. So for the 7,110 compared to the 26,223 of Arch Tempered Nergigante, that's 3.69 times the HP. So yes, if you want to shave your way through all of that HP in a decent time, you will need to be packing some max deeps. For a comparison point, let's look at Teostra from the Hellfire Stronghold optional quest. The average HP roll for that is 8,685. So if we compare that to the 19,350 HP roll for Arch Tempered Toaster, that's only a 2.23 times increase. This means that the HP scaling from Nergigante to Arch Tempered Nergigante is 65% higher than it is for the other Arch Tempered monsters. So yeah, pack a lot of heat. Also, the attack modifier for AT Hedgehog is 800% for single player. This is actually the highest in the game, tied with Chungus. The other Arch Tempered quests like Arch Tempered Toaster have 759% attack modifiers, so it's around the same ballpark. And for a comparison point, the attack modifier for Tempered Nergigante in Sapphire Star Guidance is 550%. So this guy's gonna be hitting about 45% harder than a Tempered Nergigante. But again, that's only about 5% more than the other Arch Tempered monsters hit for. Now, if we look at the status applications on him, all of his base amounts are less than 10% higher, so not that big a difference. However, the build-ups are anywhere from 32 to 35% higher. This makes any subsequent status procs of the same status much more difficult to get. Although the caps aren't much higher, so that's a thing. Realistically, it takes way too much effort to actually hit the cap for any particular status. However, this does mean that it is pretty likely Blast is going to be kind of ripped against Arch Tempered Nergigante. The application buildup is so high now that it's not really going to be worth it compared to Raw most likely. Take that qualified statement with a grain of salt though, Math Robot needs to do more math on that first to be certain. Beep boop. Interestingly though, the KO is actually going to be lower than it is for Tempered Nergigante, but it's such a minor difference you probably won't even notice it. Interestingly though, the mount is actually quite a bit lower compared to Tempered Nergigante. This actually might be enough for you to get an additional mount or two during a hunt. Now for the most interesting part by far, which is the breakable parts HP values. These are basically how much HP each of the spikes has. So on top we have Arch Tempered Hedgehog, and on the bottom we have Tempered Hedgehog. As you can see, these are all just slightly over 2 times the value. For context, other Arch Tempered monsters have had about 70% higher flinch values. This is quite significant, especially because we are talking about Hedgehog here. As I'm sure you're already aware, breaking Hedgehog spikes is a huge part of the gameplay loop for fighting him. Nergigante has always been a very feast or famine style monster to fight. When you have good positioning combined with high damage, you are constantly getting juicy trips. And if you are particularly good at chaining these trips together, he doesn't even really get to fight back. But if you take too long to break these spikes, they go grey and have lower hit zone values and then eventually go black. When they go black, the hit zone values are so low that you constantly bounce and basically don't do any damage at all to the black spikes. And of course, once he is a completely black hedgehog, he gains access to his deadly dive bomb attack that has claimed many a hunter's lives. So now we're talking about twice the HP value for all of the spikes. This is both a good and a bad thing. For very skilled hunters, this is actually a good thing because it lets you maximize DPS uptime more. One of the issues with fighting normal Nergigante is that his spikes have so low HP that once you get a spike trip, you actually don't want to hit the spikes because you'll break them during the trip. If you trigger a flinch or trip during a flinch or trip, it simply eats that flinch or trip. In other words, breaking spikes during a trip simply wastes that potential trip. So instead, what you normally do is you wait until after he gets up and then you break the spikes and trigger another trip, and this is how you chain trip Nergigante. This means you're normally hitting non-spike areas and therefore lower hit zone values and therefore dealing less damage during the trip. The spikes having more HP for Arch Tempered Hedgehog means you can spend more time beating on those high hit zone values and getting more damage, shaving off that giant pool of HP. And then you just make sure to leave it at 1 hit away from breaking before he gets up, and then after he gets up, trip him again. That's the good part. The bad part is if you aren't particularly skilled at these damage counting and chain tripping mechanics, you may end up struggling a lot. The nature of fighting Nergigante is he rotates quite a bit and it can be a bit more difficult to focus one part at a time if you're not doing it while he's tripped. This means that you may end up having a lot of spikes that end up going black simply because you couldn't deal enough damage to them. And that's bad, cause she gon' dive bomb, and you gon' die. Speaking of dive bomb, there's actually another juicy nugget of information about Arch Tempered Hedgehog that came out quite a while ago, but you may not have heard about. So our beloved Hex was messing around with quest investigations a while ago and made an Arch Tempered Nergigante quest to see what would happen. When he did, it kind of accidentally added this extra move to his AI, which was a back hop into dive bomb move. This move is potentially one that will be added to Nergigante's moveset for Arch Tempered Nerg. And if it is, that sounds f***ing terrifying. But we don't know that for certain. What we do know for certain is that there is a new AI file attached with the AT Nerg data. So we do know that he will have new moves and will have new mechanics, we just don't know exactly what those are yet. The only other thing we've really found from data mining so far is that we have found both the victory theme and the fight theme for him. However, we're probably not going to include those in this video because we'll probably get DMCA'd for them. Or at the very least demonetized.
Please no, Capcom Daddy. We love you.
And yes, we do know the Nergigante Gamma armor skills as well as model, but that's kind of old news. That leaked like when Arch Tempered Xeno leaked or something, it was a while ago. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys. As always, thank you for watching and leave a like if you enjoyed the video. If these kinds of videos interest you guys, make sure to let us know in the comments. We do work with a lot of data miners, so whenever leaks come out, we pretty much know right away. And a huge thank you to *Ampersand over at our Discord server. He is a phenomenal data miner and modder, and this video literally wouldn't have happened without him giving me this information. I use like almost exclusively his mods for my PC Monster Hunter World, so be sure to check out his Nexus mods, link in the description. There will also be a link to the Monster Hunter World modding Discord server. Asterisk is an admin over there, and it's pretty much the place to go if you want to discuss modding or data mining. Thank you as always to Honey for making the tools we use to make sets. There weren't any builds in this video, but we still always want to show our appreciation. And if you'd like to find some like-minded hunters to hunt with on PC or console, be sure to check out our Discord server, the Mathalos Nest. Even if you aren't interested in hunting, be sure to come say hi, we have a very fun crowd. Check us out on Twitter where we post updates about videos and just random stuff that interests us. And of course be sure to check out Tuna on Twitch, he does stream Monster Hunter World and a bunch of different games almost every day. Now, we haven't been DMCA'd or demonetized yet, but if you are interested in helping protect us from the YouTube algorithm, be sure to check out our Patreon. And an especially big thank you to Foray, Exponage, David Sternberg, XCLK07, Hiker, Milky Powder, Yoshi Cho, John Cohen, Lithaboli, Robin, Bram Orsel, Chris Porth, Lightweight, McPersona, Skylar Yang, Checkleman, Lupin, Mongus, Zinv, Billy Barthol, Lord Cyrene, Rodolph Charlot, Reaper Time, Jamie, and everyone else who supports us on Patreon. Seriously, thank you guys all so much for your support. You help protect us from the wonderful world of the YouTube algorithm. All hail our kind and patient overlords Google.
Hail them!
We do have the Dual Blades meta video coming out very soon for you guys, as well as some more ATKT content, so be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. All that YouTube jazz lets you know when the videos come out and stuff. Happy hunting, hunters. See you guys on the next one. Bye!